You ready?
Yeah, we gotta leave.
Meeting in order. I'd like to recognize in particular one guest, Chairman Kincaid. We're mighty glad to see you, because you carry our mail for us, and we thank you for all you do. And believe me, we know what all you do. Thank you very much. Let's open up with a prayer. Jason Thompson, would you please lead us in prayer?
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you, Father, for giving us traveling grace to make it here safely. We thank you for giving us an opportunity, Father, to discuss the natural resources of this state. We pray for our commissioners, our executive staff. We pray for the men and women of this agency, our state and our country. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jason. I think we have real business here. We have a swearing in, though. Commissioner Munger. Governor Reeves started in to reappoint our man, so he got to get sworn in.
You'll raise your hand. I, William M. Munger II,
I will, William M. Munger II,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support
that I will faithfully support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and the Constitution of the State of Mississippi,
and obey the laws thereof,
and obey the laws thereof,
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
from holding the office of Commissioner
from holding the office of Commissioner
on Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks,
on Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks,
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Speech.
Five more years. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, put up me for 5 more years.
Okay. How about the minutes?
I think, go ahead. I was gonna make a motion of exception. We probably ought to do it in 2 different motions, I was thinking, Jonathan. So you want to make a motion for the first one?
Make a motion for the June 22nd meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Uh-huh.
Motion carries. All right, the July 27th teleconference.
I'll make a motion, we accept those as well.
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Uh-huh.
Motion carries. The minutes have been adopted. By the way, our special communications commission didn't work out. We had to have a special meeting to try to buy some land, but we have to bid on it. We have to get a appraisal, and we got money whipped. We got outbid, so we didn't get the land, but that's okay. We tried. Today's agenda. Is it okay? As far as you know?
Yes, sir. Thank
Would I
you.
have a motion on the?
Motion.
Motion and second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh-huh.
All right. All right, so we got some public comments. We got 3 gentlemen, want to talk about an adult hunt, and, y'all recognize this. Yes, sir. We ready to go?
Y'all need to get up there.
Get right up here. Yes, sir.
I'm not a great speaker.
Well, you always just tell us who you are and what you about.
I'm Mike Rice,
Good.
from Scott County, over there around Morton. Our deal today is what we wanted to bring up, was we want to propose for the committee, and I thank y'all for listening to us today and giving us this opportunity. A senior adult deer hunt, just for seniors, out of the permit areas, like Mahana and places like that. This is what this was all about, because as most of you are, looking at y'all and me, we're seniors. You know, we got there pretty quick. And, we're not trying to take away from anybody. What we're trying to do is try to set something up like a 3 or 4 day hunt out of the 130 days of draw hunts they do have. Cause we don't get we don't get draws very often, and we on the wrong side of this thing. And, we'd like to set this up, you know, and for y'all to think about or whatever we need to do. I've been trying to do this since October. I talked to Miss Sharon in October about it, and she said, I'll check into it. Well, it just sort of led on down the line, you know, and I talked to Mr. Scott Baker, and I talked to Mr. Rush Walsh about this, and all of them, I have not had any bad comment on any of it. They all liked it and agreed with it, and I said, well, I don't know where to go with it. But anyway, I finally got to the deal in June with Miss Sharon, and she said, well, you need to come before the commission. I wish she'd have told me that in October. We'd have done been here, but Mr. Scott Baker sent me an email on it, and he said that Mike is not dead on the table yet, but we can't implement it this year. And this was in June, and I knew it was getting late because the rules and regulations was already written. And so we're not trying to change any rules or regulations. What we're trying to do is just implement a small hunt for the seniors. We feel like that I don't know if we feel like we sort of earned this or not, but we've been buying licenses and supporting the state of Mississippi for 50 years. Even when we bought the hunting license separate, all the way through sportsman's, I've never failed to buy any sportsman's license. I thought that was the thing to do. And, but anyway, we trying to set up a senior hunt on the permit areas. I mean, because it's a madhouse on some of these other wildlife management areas around to even try to get there. But Scott Baker had called me a couple of times on this, and we talked about it. And he took some notes, and so did Mr. Rush Walsh. He took some notes, said he was going to talk to Scott. Well, I talked back with Scott, and Scott said, I hadn't heard from Rush, but anyway, I don't, you know, we didn't know how to do this. That's why it took so long to get here. I said, well, man, I said, it's all right if we try to implement it next year. I said, but Miss Sharon said, bring it before the commission. You know, so that's what we're doing, that we'd like to try to set this a senior hunt, because we don't have time to wait 10 years. And I know the draws are, you know, they're fair. You know, I've been drawed before, but it takes so long to get drawed. Last time I got drawed for the Mahana hunt was in 2008. I mean, you just don't have that long to get there again. But anyway, that's the part I wanted to bring to y'all. And these other guys, they got a few things they want to say. It wasn't going to take us long to do what we needed to do. And, and I thank y'all for y'all's time.
Questions, you're saying those 65 and older
Yes, sir.
would just be able to come hunt on the WMAs at a certain period of time, or what?
Well, when Scott called me, he said, do you have to have a Saturday and Sunday? I said, no, we're retired, man. I said, you set it up anytime, whatever you want.
During the week.
And I gave him a couple of times, you know, that I thought would be good, you know. It doesn't have to be any certain time. We would like for it to be during, you know, gun season, or, you know, the primitive weapon would be good. But, anyway, to set it up any way they want to, and if, you know, Scott needed to ask me about it, then he took some details from me. He called me and asked me about that, and I give him my ideas. And he's, you know, and he thought that was a good idea. And how to set the thing up, either permit draws or you feel right, deal's good. That's a good deal y'all got set up. They got set up on that, the wildlife and fish, is, you know, group hunts. Man, that would be tremendous. But, so, you know, sometimes it's a lot more about the camaraderie than it is the kill. You know, we just love to do that. And these guys I've been knowing all my life, you know, and we hunt together, fish together. But anyway, if that answers your question, you know,
Yeah, I was just wondering if it, yeah, exactly, when you're talking about rifle season,
rifle
I know.
season, primitive weapon season, or, you know, and I.
Weapon of choice is what I like.
So,
I like weapon of choice.
that's right, that'd be good too.
Bring what you want.
Sort of like Phil Bryant, but that's good, that's what I tried to get a hold of you on the phone, I couldn't get you that phone, kept ringing, it never was nobody, I don't got the number off the line, but I don't even know if it was your number or not, it said it was, but,
Well, I'd have talked to you if you,
I wanted to talk
well, you
to
at the right place now, and we understand what you're asking
Yeah.
for, and, you wanna let your other two
Yeah, they
gentlemen.
wanted to say something, I didn't want to take no more
No,
time.
no, no.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for setting this up, too.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you, for this opportunity to address y'all. My name's Robert Abbott. I've been hunting, 68 years old, been hunting since I was 15. Seniors, we're not only hunters, but we support and we volunteer for different organizations that promote and protect the wildlife in Mississippi. National Wild Turkey Federation, Ducks Unlimited, stuff like that. Part of our state and God-given, natural resources that we have. When a group of us come together with decided for opportunity for seniors to have specific hunting times set aside on these WMAs, I asked for feedback on social media from Mississippi hunters. And it was overwhelming response. About 99% thought it was a good idea. So I'd like to present you with 3 reasons why I think it'd be positive for the state. When I was a young man, what used to get me fired up for hunting season was magazines, Mississippi, Bow Hunter Magazine, North American Whitetail. Well, those magazines, somewhere in those pages, Mississippi would always be mentioned in a positive light. I think this would be great PR for our state, for locally and nationally, for the state, show what the state's doing for the seniors in Mississippi that have contributed for so many years and so much to wildlife in Mississippi. Second, when I got started kicking these ideas around, Scott Baker with the Mississippi Park of Wildlife, we talked to him. Scott explained how the Pittman-Robertson Act contributes financially to the Mississippi Park of Wildlife. Well, at age 65,000 of Mississippi hunters no longer have to buy a hunting license. So after talking to Scott, I believe the hunter would gladly purchase senior hunting license or some form of license. And that would bring the Pittman-Robertson contributions back into play. So financially, this could play a part in revenue for the Mississippi Park and Wildlife. And last, I was fortunate going up hunting different hunting camps. It was a great experience. And for many people, and especially seniors, the high cost of hunting camps nowadays is just out of reach. So a lot of seniors I know hunt WMA. And I have put in for draw once ever since they started. I've had some great hunting experience and success. There was a stretch where for almost 10 years I wasn't drawn for anything. And I know of other hunters that had dry spells like this. I understand the fairness of the luck of the draw, but the reality is that age time just ain't on our side. So to summarize, it'd be a great gesture by the state to show appreciation to senior hunters in Mississippi. It would be financially sound. It would increase hunting license sales and revenue by bringing an uncounted group of hunters back into the equation. And last, it gives opportunity for seniors who may not have that many, hunting years left, opportunity to hunt on some quality hunting land. So again, I thank you for letting me speak on behalf of the seniors in Mississippi. And I ask you to consider this request for hunts on the WMAs.
Mr. Chairman, do seniors have to purchase a WMA user permit right now?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
They do?
They do. Well,
I don't think they need to purchase any.
No, sir. It's exempt. With the exempt like company.
WMA permits exempt?
you're saying-
You have to buy one for license too,
Yeah, we bought the license. We $5 license.
For a draw hunt?
Comes with-
Yeah, for the
No, just for the WMAs, I I asked that question too, and I think we're exempt from that.
Like my license.
No, I'm sorry, Mr.
Not mine, but resident senior exempt. That's what kind of license you get, if you get over sixty-five. Resident senior exempt.
You have to have that. Yeah, they won't even let you put in for a draw hunt unless.
You gotta have some kind of license. And we got an exempt license.
Well, I know this gentleman's advocating to raise more money, but I think they've paid enough money. We need to give I'm the youngest one on the commission. And I think, and I sent an email just, yesterday, Chairman Posey, Director Posey got it. This is serious. We need to offer opportunities for our older Americans to hunt in our wildlife management areas. And also, Mr. Chairman, I don't think we're accepting motions right now, but I would hope that this department would also look at accessibility issues in the WMA, because these gentlemen right here, they know what I'm talking about, the accessibility of us closing roads off. And then Russ, can they use a bicycle in those electric bicycles in the WMAs? Yes. Okay, so that's 100% we can use those bicycles. Okay, even the closed ones, you know what I'm talking about? Like there's a nice gravel road that's got a gate on it and it's a closed road. Can they take that bicycle down that closed road? I would hope that this commission or this department would work with our federal partners and try, I know these gentlemen look tough and, ain't much gonna get them down, but, you start getting 65, I look at my dad, if he wants to go hunt in WMA, the way we close roads, it's gonna be difficult for him to get down them. So I would hope that we can look at some things like that and afford an opportunity for our 65 plus to be able to hunt. And, I know we're always looking at ways of raising money, but I believe they paid their dues and we need to give an opportunity under the exempt permit to hunt.
My name is Ben Christmas, and I'm a resident of Rankin County, but I hunt all over the state when I get an opportunity to. Sounds like y'all pretty well have a grasp of what we're recommending. I think my partners have pretty much covered everything, but just to give you an example, I'm 74 years old, so if I sign up every year, it may be 6, 8 years before I get drawn for some of the WMA, so, who knows what my physical condition be 6, 8 years or whatever, so, that's why we'd like to see, opportunity every year for seniors. And not only have we bought license and bought sporting goods equipment and that kind of thing, but we've done a lot of volunteer work in the state. We work with the wildlife folks on the squirrel hunts. And, I chaired the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation here in Jackson area, and we did a lot of volunteer work. So we'd appreciate any help y'all could give us on getting this done.
Well, we do this for disabled veterans and handicapped children. And, I'm a little bit older than you, so, I'm very much, I'll be one of the ones leading this fight, because I am a senior citizen. But it makes sense. It makes sense. So, but let us talk about it.
Yeah.
Let us figure out some way we can do it, some wildlife management area we got at the end of deer season or the middle of deer season. But like you said, y'all can come on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, you're retired. You ain't gotta worry about working.
And every how you set the rules up, and I think for most hunts you have, you can put the list of partner, but I think it's pretty important for seniors that you can have partners.
Oh, yeah.
We need help.
Absolutely.
Makes a big difference. That's
Whether
what-
it be a group hunt or whatever.
Well, we appreciate y'all coming.
Mr.
Believe me, we will look into it.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can we set a timeline? Because it sounds like we got behind the 8 ball this last time. Typically, when does Russ and them need enough time to enact a rule or something like that so we can get some timelines going and we're not having this discussion in July, August of next year about the same, if we can set some timelines to, I don't know how long it takes.
I don't know, Russ could have been, by the next commission meeting, could you have a recommendation for the seniors?
We propose the WMA regulations in April of each year. So
So that would set the regulations for the 2020.
I understand. I mean, it may be.
We need to do it
next-
before April.
It may be next year that we, but because all the record, everything's been set up right now, but.
Do we
I think we moving in the right direction
Do
and
we control the
glad y'all
lottery?
come. What'd you say?
Do we control the lottery,
We
this
have,
agency?
we've run through the lottery, is drawn through the agency, yes.
My
This
question
particular
to
lottery,
you,
not-
you're talking about, so y'all are talking about not this upcoming season, you're
No,
talking about,
Next season,
why can you not do it this season?
all the
Asking-
rigs are out.
Okay.
But if there public notice is put
Yeah.
up after the fact sometimes at WMAs that are not in the regulations,
I'm not trying to change
Right
the
right in the
rules.
middle of the draw, right in the middle of the draw registration now.
I got you, but what
So
I
I'm
think what the
thinking-
mayor's trying to say is, you know, we're not creating a new law that's gonna get somebody arrested or, you know, they gotta have more orange. We're affording them another opportunity. And if this department can expedite that process, I think we could post it and have a hunt for them somewhere around the January timeframe or December time.
I think
The dates are set.
that could be, that's possible, Russ.
I would have to defer to council on.
I mean, this is
The
all,
date- The date's been set, Mr. Chairman. We just need to look and see what dates are set, and if there is an opportunity to carve out a time. I mean, sitting here right now, we just don't know. We'd have to have the staff to look at it and see.
I think most of our days, the weekends and whatever, these guys are talking about something in the middle of the week.
We just need to look at the dates, see what the regs that are out there, and see if there is an opportunity to add some sort of a senior hunt to it. Right now, we would have to wait and let the staff look at it.
Well, we got the ball rolling. That's the main thing. And I'll promise everybody at this table is interested in doing it.
Leonard, Commissioner Benz, I understand that input there, but I think we ought to direct the staff to have us some dates by the next commission meeting. Or we gonna deal it around to next year.
Let's do that.
I think that's only right, because I think this is a very rightful request.
If the chairman will take a motion, I'll second it.
Yeah, well, we need to do
Is
something
that,
rather than next year.
Fine. We'll have something together by next commission meeting.
okay.
You
That's
can
all
look
I-
at it. May not be anything that but we'll have something for you to look at by next
Okay,
meeting.
that's all I want to hear. Okay.
Thank you.
Good enough.
All right, we got another gentleman named Bruce Thompson. He's a crappie fisherman. He wants to come talk about crappie fishing. Bruce Thornton, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Grenada, actually T-Op, Mississippi.
I know exactly where, I'm Tallahatchie, so I know.
It's Tuesday night before I get Saturday Night Live out there where I live.
Yeah, I know.
Right. What I wanted to talk about was, not to discredit anything that the state's doing, because I'm 100% behind all of our officers and stuff. But I think because of a new piece of equipment to come out, the live scope, Garmin live scope, there is a very needed urgency to do something to preserve our big fish in the big four lakes up north, for sure, and I'm sure Ross Barnett and other lakes around here as well. A lot of these communities depend on these lakes because it's a big income, and I think there's been real surveys done where it shows how much money that they brought in. I forgot exactly the exact numbers right off the top of my head, but like Grenada alone, I think I was told it was around $9 million annually. That's a lot of money for those communities.
It's more than that,
Right.
believe me.
Well, if we deplete our resources, you can catch crappie in any state in the United States just about. And if we take all these big fish out, that just Garmin live scope is doing, then people are not gonna come back to Mississippi. They can catch them 10, 11, 12 inch, 9, 10, 11 inch fish in their state. And I think it's just an urgency that we do something, a slot limit or something. I'm no biologist by any means, but I am heavily concerned about that. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not a guide because I am a guide, but because I am a guide, I am extremely, extremely, again, concerned about preservation of our big fish. We promote throwing the big fish back, and because of this live scope, a lot of people are just plucking the big ones out and taking them on. And once they're gone, they're gonna be gone. I would think, I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I had talked with the Creole Game One biologist, and he expresses the same thing. He and I talked on a couple different occasions, and he feels the same way, you know, that I do about it. I mean, he confirmed what I was saying, what I thought, and what I see out there every day. If we could get something done on that would be really helpful.
Are you proposing outlawing the live scope?
I'm not proposing outlawing the live scope, but I'm proposing maybe a 12 to 14 or 15-inch fish, and then you can have one fish over a certain
Okay,
inch limit.
I got you. Everybody that comes, that hires a guide like you or goes there, everybody wants to catch a 3-pound fish.
They do, and I've got countless on my phone.
I just caught one, but I know but that's 2.5.
Right.
But, and you can only catch 15. So what you're saying is, you can't have more than 1 or 2 3-pounders in your bunch, is that what you're saying?
I'm proposing you can have one trophy fish over 15 inches
Per person?
per person,
Yeah.
per person in the boat. I think that would be a great thing, you know, because I'm personally not gonna put a knife in a 3-pound fish. You know, and I've got countless videos on my phone where I've had clients that catch fish, and I ask them, hey, are you gonna mount that fish? No, I'm not gonna mount it. Well, hey, let's put it back. As a matter of fact, let me video us putting it back. And that's what I do, is video it of them putting it back.
Do you use the live scope?
A little bit, but not as much as a lot of them.
I went fishing with Trent, you know, with Jason Golden.
Jason Golden, Trent.
And he's got one pole.
That's right.
And,
Well, I put out the 8 poles, and we'll go down to there, and if I see a group of fish, we'll go over and see what they do.
yeah, I understand.
Do you live well your big fish? Or do they go cool?
No, they go to a cooler.
If they're gonna keep it and mount it. Now, and that's only, you know, you got that 2% of people, them, bless their heart, redneck folks that just gotta have them big fish to eat, you know, well, no, I'm not throwing them back. Well, you can't make them throw them back, but most people, you can talk to them well enough that, you know, they'll put those fish back, and, or if they're gonna mount it, we'll put it on ice. But putting it in a live well is not gonna be the answer either, because this time of year, that live well gets so hot, and fish die pretty quick.
I was just trying to figure, you know, if I catch one of the slot fish, and I catch one bigger, you know, can I put
In the spring of the year, generally, when you're gonna catch those bigger fish, yes, you can put them in a live well, and they will stay alive. You know, just one in a live well. But to put 5 or 6 of them in there at this time of year, or even 2 of them in there at this time of year, they're not gonna last long. But you're not gonna catch that huge trophy this time of year usually anyway.
But that's what they come for. That's what the people come from all over the United States to Grenada to catch a 3-pound crappie. That's what they're looking for.
Yes,
Now, I ain't saying they're looking to catch 12 of them, but they won't catch one. Now, I would think what you're proposing is just set a limit on each day you go fishing, you can only catch 1 trophy.
one trophy fish.
Well,
And put them back. You can only have 1 trophy fish.
Well, that would be some of the biologists and Mr. Brown back there, the fishing folks. But,
And the other thing I'd like to propose too, and this is a proposal thing,
what about license for people like you?
100%, that's exactly what I was supposed to say. I 100% agree with license for guys,
Well, we've been talking about it,
and I hope it's high
it
too.
makes a lot of sense to me.
It does.
It'll get rid of the people that flying in here, fishing and staying in motels and
That's not paying taxes.
and not paying taxes
Yes,
and
sir.
look, and not paying attention to the 12-inch or the other group.
Well, they're not only not paying attention to the 12-inch, they're coming in, these other guys are coming in here from out of state, and the sale for them is having those big fish, and their people holding them up, and like folks are seeing it on the social media, like, oh gosh, I gotta go with him, because he's keeping all them big fish. Well, we don't need to keep all them big fish. We need to put them back, and yes, I hope you do put a guy's license on it, and I hope it is substantially high.
Well, like Jason Golden told me, that's where I make my living. I'm not, he's talking about $1,000.
I'm talking $2,000 in state and $5,000 out of state.
Y'all hear that, folks?
What's that? or 2,500 in-state
Guidelines.
for a guide.
That much.
$2,500 in-state for a guide license.
I can't see them law enforcement officers be in favor of that. They'd have to have a
Well, I
guy.
hope they get every penny of it to help them do their job, you know, with things that they need to do their job. Not the job, I'm doing the job. Bullshit is that.
Short piece.
So
Short piece.
what do you propose is the slot limit?
Again, I'm not a biologist, but I mean, the 12 to 15 inches, or, you know, something like that. I mean, you gotta have
How many inches is a 3-pound fish? Ballpark.
16 and I mean, sometimes you can catch them, some of them are butterfish, they just like a little football. They're more round than they are tall.
But mainly the 3-pounders in the spring, right, when they're spawning.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not uncommon
They
to
fake it. I mean, they got all
to
that.
not catch them right now. I mean, that happens every now and then, but it's not very often. Because in the spring, the gourds eating and they're full of eggs. And that's whenever they reach their fullest potential.
Well, it's something for us to think about. And it's a big business. And it's a lot more than what you said, believe me.
Oh, it's a lot more. I'd love to sit here and talk to y'all all day about all of it. But, you know, and it affects a lot of different things. I mean, it affects the communities of those towns, the lodging, the restaurants, the gas stations, the Walmarts, and everything. And and guides as well. I mean, I know it sounds kind of selfish, but I'm for everybody in the state of Mississippi. And I'm not so much for all these other folks coming in, using up our resources. And then because once it's depleted, they're gonna leave and we're just gonna be stuck. Prime example of it, if you look at Lake Washington over in Greenville. Roy Jones, I think it's Roy Jones, owns a store over there. He promoted really hard to have property masters have regular season tournament over there. And then he wanted a national championship over there. And I told him, I said, you could not do that to this lake, it's too small. You put 170 boats of arguably, the best crappie fishermen in the world, and they're gonna deplete this little lake.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, well, they got these other, we included Ferguson and Paradise and I think Lee and Whittington. I said, yeah, but think about all those lakes are, Roy, that you're not thinking about. Those are water-fed lakes from the river. And if them fluctuating up and down, people are not gonna fish on them because they can't catch the fish. They're all gonna be on Washington. And if you look at the numbers, I guarantee you it'll reflect since that national championship.
Washington's gone.
Washington's gone straight down.
Is that right, Jerry?
They have.
The river controls the water levels at the.
No, I'm talking about the studies on Washington, Lake Washington.
The big fish have gone away, yes, sir. Crappie populations are naturally cyclic. I think with the reduced pressure on Washington, it will come back. Every 3 to 5 years, we'll see a big year class, but that particular, I'm gonna say 2 years that Washington was in the top 3 in the country and was publicized as such, they hammered it really hard.
Do we limit our guide, license on on Grenada Lake or Butler?
They don't have a license.
There's no license.
Oh, there is no guide
No
license.
license.
But we're gonna work on that.
And again, it should be really high, because the people that are willing to pay a high price for a guide license really care about the whole process of everything. Those that don't, they don't care.
We
I
got,
think Larry's wanting to say something, Mr. Chairman, over there.
I recognize you, brother Pete. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Worked with Chairman Kincaid the last 2 years. Very few people know that 49,439 gives the commission the authority to regulate guides and outfitters. You buy.
I didn't know that.
But the fees in 49,439 are so low, what Chairman Kincaid and I have worked so hard on is trying to get the legislation changed to up that minimum fee. Right now, it says, the legislation says the guide license can't exceed $150.
Well, that ain't worth having.
And so
Might well not have
we
it.
worked together unsuccessfully, we're gonna try again, to get that number changed, where the commission would have the authority to set that fee, and it obviously needs to be over $150.
Well, all the guys I've talked to, they're not opposed to it. It's just like this gentleman here.
Sure.
He knows where he makes his living, and he don't mind paying it, and it'll keep the the ones that ain't abiding by the law, keep them out, because they won't have a license. And then them guys over there will catch them.
I'll help 'em.
That's right. But we appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a crappie fisherman, and I love it. And I'd rather eat them than catch them.
Yes, sir.
I started to question him on his thought about arguably the best 100-and-something boats in the country. And then I was gonna say, were you in that fishing?
No, I wasn't.
It wasn't real accurate. That's all I
Well,
was
no, I said arguably.
I was not in that, I'm not in the top 10, that's right. But thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for Larry. So this commission we could implement a process
Thank y'all.
where you guys have licenses, but it'd be a maximum of $150. So we could do that.
You could do it right now. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion alone, Chairman Kincaid and I've had this conversation, I wouldn't bring anything to the commission, because these guys are making $500 a day. And you're talking about, it can't exceed $150 a year.
No, I understand. Would it be of any value to have a license, just so you know who they are and kind of regulate them?
Yeah, oh, yes.
And the legislature, if they can get it raised, they should, but you can
Well,
start.
I think, gentlemen, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. We have been on the cutting edge as an agency in managing those crappie resources. We've got the most restrictive regulations of any state in the United States. And we're well aware of our challenges with livestock. We're well aware of the number of guys that are on those reservoirs that are profiting off the resource that we help manage and actually create, I would argue. So yes, Chairman Kincaid and I have had these discussions, and we've been across town and really tried to get this across the goal, and I hope we can.
The only thought I would think is if we enact a fee, Chairman Kincaid, let them get us some real money, because if we start a license today for $150, and they make some legislation next year where we can go to 500 or 1,000 or whatever it is, and then that's two fights we're gonna have, you know?
Yeah, I just wonder what the possibilities are. So when would, what time of year do these regulations need to be made?
This is legislation, Chairman Kincaid, why don't you take it?
Gentlemen, thank you so much, and I appreciate the presentation. I am a fantastic under-practiced trout fisherman. I don't get enough practice. But we've addressed this for the last couple of years. These fees need to be quite high. We need to examine what we do with out of state and what's being taken out of the state. It goes farther than just the license fee. It goes business license. It needs to be insurance. We need to require these individuals that are capitalizing on our finest resource in our state that belongs to the taxpayers, which is our fisheries, that these men and women work so diligently to support. And we need to realize that. And so I would agree with you. It needs to be a pretty good bite. You know, I'm saying $1,200 to $1,500 for it, a guide license, and then probably double that for an outset. And with that, we need to establish a cap on how many licenses we want to support, based on how many licenses we feel like that fishery can support. So there's a lot more than just saying we want to reach out and grab an arbitrary number, which is what we have right now. So that's what we continue to work on. And we have colleagues on both sides of the fence in the roundhouse that think, well, we deserve the right to not have to do that because it's hard. It should be free. It's not. It belongs to taxpayers. So we're working on it.
Well, the ones, the outfitters, the guides that I've talked to, several, I have not heard one that's against being a licensed guide and follow the rules and pay the money. And like you say, they're out there in a great big boat. They ain't no telling what it costs. The motor, they got all that. And they fishing every day. And they're making a ton of money.
And they're making them back to taxpayers.
That's correct. And they understand that. They don't mind being licensed because they know there's some people coming in there that are not following the rules.
We spend millions of dollars, and these men and women work with the agency to support that. And we've got to capitalize. So
We just don't need to drop it. And thank you again for coming, Bruce. Appreciate it. All right, Jason Thompson. talking about the license, we found out about the license, we're making some money.
Chairman, Commissioners, we ended FY '22 with our highest revenue total since we've been putting together commission reports for you all over the years. We ended at $19,321,290.
That's not a small number, 19 million, y'all in that license sales we had last year.
And that's $283,000 more than last year. So FY '22 was a really good year for license sales. Our report this morning for FY '23, the revenue is slightly behind July last year. So total revenue is down 3% overall. Resident license sales are down 2%, but our WMA permits are up 10%. 3-day freshwater fishing 6%, and the sportsman's license numbers are close to what they were on last year, $100,000. Non-resident license sales are down. WMA permits are up 63%, and our permit category is also down 53%. It's $1,300 less than last year, and lifetime licenses are up 20% compared to last year. At the bottom of your summary report, WMA app downloads for July 520. 373 of them were iOS users and 177 Android users. 1,517 set up for auto renewal versus 2,759 last July.
Why is that number 1,200 down?
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah, so those numbers will go down some. You know, we're looking for new customers year after year to set up for auto renewal, but most of us have already done it.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna see
You're not
us.
gonna get as many.
Yes, that number's
I
gonna.
got you.
That's an additional auto renewal customers with that, it's,
Those are digital auto renewal or somebody that didn't auto renew last year, their auto renewal.
These are new.
And the last thing, license packages, 1,040 sold compared to 787 last year. So that number is going to continue to go with license packages. Any questions?
Okay, any commissioners got any questions for Jason? As always, thank you, Jason. Russ, you're up next.
Chair, I'll defer my time to you to take these.
You got any ducks where you used to?
Not yet, they're on the way.
Houston, did you know about the, you may have been there, Commissioner Munger tell me about, he went to a meeting in Arkansas like the last couple of weeks.
So Commissioner Martin, at the expo, we talked about that, some of I wasn't there, but, State Chapter Ducks Unlimited had their convention over the same weekend, so that's where we were, had a little presentation.
Well, it seemed like what I got from him, what he came away from, all you gotta do is throw some more money at it.
They're doing a very large fundraising campaign, hopefully be successful, and get some more work done on the ground.
Okay, excuse me for interrupting.
They were, the other waterfowl was, you know, it's 1 million new ducks a year. They have a $250 million campaign. You know, it works with DU buying land and what they do too. The 1 million new ducks, maybe we'll get some more for you, Houston. Pretty good.
Go ahead, Houston, I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, what we have for you on tab 5, I believe, in your books is the 2022-23 WMA waterfowl draw procedures for enforcing as WMA regulations. If you'll recall, when you approved the WMA regulations back in the spring, there was language in there that included that all draw hunt procedures must be followed. So this is a follow-up to that, excuse me, for we're presenting for their approval to basically give us some enforcement of the things that we've already been using as rules or as procedures for these draw hunts. These are not additional things, but really just in running into things in the field, whether it be enforcement officers or our staff that are working the hunts, just things that they have issues that run into. These things would help enforce those. I'll just read through these. Number 1, all draw waterfowl hunters and their guests shall sign in on the reservation holder sign-in sheet by 5 a.m. at the WMA headquarters the morning of their hunt, and will proceed to the hunting unit. Draw hunters do not sign in by 5 a.m., the hunt unit shall be immediately forfeited and shall be available in the standby draw. So number 2 is related to that. All standby waterfowl hunters shall sign in on the standby sign-in sheet by 5 a.m. at the WMA headquarters the morning of the hunt. So basically, that's just set up to be able to maximize the use of those hunting units on the mornings of the hunts. Number 3, an individual's name may appear in one hunting group per day, and hunters must hunt with the group with which they're signed in. Once the day's draw process begins, no changing of hunting parties will be allowed. If an individual's name appears in more than one hunting group, they shall immediately forfeit the opportunity to hunt for that day.
Pretty strong with that.
Number 4, hunters who arrive after the morning's draw process has started must wait until the entire draw process has been completed, and then may sign in and may take any available hunting unit after that draw is completed. Number 5, once the drawings have been completed, hunters shall only hunt from their designated hunt units. And number 6, only those hunters who have been drawn, pre-drawn, or standby by the regulations described in numbers 1 through 5 shall be allowed in or on the waterfowl hunt units during the legal hours of waterfowl hunting on that day. All other hunters and or WMA users are strictly prohibited from entering or interfering with the WMA waterfowl hunt in progress. This section does not apply to law enforcement or other agency personnel engaged in enforcement business.
Now all this is kind of new language.
It's not new language, it's just, it hasn't been written out, something that is enforceable necessarily. So, this is how we've been operating in the past, but when we've run into issues, maybe officers haven't necessarily had.
This is how it's been going on, but
Yes,
you
sir.
just want to put it in writing that and make sure everybody understands the rules.
That's correct.
They've been posted too, right?
They have been posted, just basically on the WMA website or something as procedures for each individual area.
Where we go, what we do, we need
Need a motion.
we need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Accept staff recommendation.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Got you used to it. That's another big business. People don't realize it. Property fishing is duck hunting and deer hunting. That got you, Russ?
Yes, sir.
Carrie Spence.
Good morning, Commissioners, and Chairman, and Director Posey. If you will turn in your notebook parts, we're going to look at the summary for June, the fiscal year 2022 first. If you will look at the second column on your sheet, the overnight revenue for June of 2022, $691,977. If you look over 2 columns to June of 2021, $719,573. That was a decrease of overnight revenue of $27,596. Drop down now to day use revenue. The second column for fiscal year 2022 for June, $356,245, and look over 2 columns to 2021 of June, $280,668. That was an increase of $75,577. If you drop down to the bottom, the gross monthly revenue comparison for fiscal year 2022 in June, that's closing out the fiscal year, $1,048,222. And in 2021, it was $1,241,000. That's an increase of $47,981. If you look at the very bottom of gross revenue, ending the fiscal year 2022, we had $9,988,576 compared to fiscal year 2021, $1,831,337. That's an increase.
That's a difference.
That's the increase, yes. $1,831,337. That's the increase for the year, ending the fiscal year. So our goal was 10 million, and we're right on that goal in revenue.
Real close. 99.88.
Now, if you flip over to the next page, okay, the fiscal year 2023, this is the first month, July. So if you look at overnight revenue, the second column, July of 2022, the first month of the new fiscal year, $705,098. And then in 2021, the last fiscal year, $838,298. That was a decrease of $133,200. Drop down to day use revenue, the second column. The total was $311,731. And in 2021, it was $331,428. That was a decrease of $19,697. If you look at the very bottom, for the first month of the new fiscal year, July, $1,016,829 compared to 2021 fiscal year, July of 2021, fiscal year 2022. It was $1,169,726. That is a decrease of $152,897. We feel like that decrease in the first month here is probably due to gas prices. If gas prices will decrease, this is just the first month, so we feel like we'll be back. Our goal for this new fiscal year is $10,500,000. So that's our new goal, which we feel like we can achieve that.
Yep.
We're looking at this the first month. And, you know, gas prices have affected travel.
Gary, question, you may have answered this, Center,
Yes,
how is that revenue in here? Do they pay us, or
10%, $75 for a tenter, and we contracted for 10% of that.
okay, so if somebody stays in the tent, and then we get $7.50.
Yes,
It's probably a small factor.
And of course, if you have 100-degree weather, the tenters are not, they're not air conditioned, so there's not gonna be a whole lot. It'll come back in the fall. Yes, sir.
Have you thought about renegotiating that? That sounds like a small amount.
That is an idea. To renegotiate that. There's 8 parks with approximately 8 tenters in each.
They had some success when it was good.
It did. They had some of the greatest success in the country, they told us, out of New York. But now with the weather, it'll curtail some, it's just hot.
Right. That's just on the tents.
Right.
We have reinstated the Park Host program. So what we did, we have John Powell, Lake Lowndes, Hugh White, Tom Bigby, George Coster, Walt Doxey, Percy Quinn, and Roosevelt. We did reinstate the Park Host program. So after background checks, extensive background checks, we call all the references, and we get executive approval. The park host gets a security bond, a surety bond, and so that helps us having park hosts in these parks.
What is a park host?
They basically for 24 hours of work a week, they can have their RV pad paid for. It's volunteer, so they can answer questions. They generally have job duties of about 10 job duties, picking up branches. They might mow, they might pick up trash, they might clean restrooms, they might do some housekeeping, but it's a voluntary job for 24 hours a week.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but every one of those parks I've heard,
Yes.
I think are north of I-20.
Well,
Yeah,
you have Percy Quinn and Roosevelt, is on 20. I'm looking here. Yeah, you're correct.
When,
Macomb.
Yes. What's your question?
my question was, nobody in my district gets to do the park.
Oh, yes, sir, they can, and it's in the process now. The managers know that they're soliciting for park hosts, and they'll go through the process. So we will approve them, we sure will. And we won't.
What if we
It helps
just,
us.
what if we just approve with Waldoxie and all that?
Well, Doc, you got a park host.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And
Do you
if
have questions, Tom?
the park host,
Yes, sir.
like at Concert State Park, what you're interested in.
Yes.
Now, they stay at the campground?
Yeah, these are RV campers. And, so they're,
I mean, they're there all the time?
yes, sir, they are while they're doing it. Now, they might move, it's a national plan, really. It's all over, all parks. So they might move and they'll give us notice that they're moving. We can get another one. But basically, for 24 hours a week, they get their RV pad paid for. It's complimentary, they're volunteering.
They just spend 4 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
That makes a lot of sense.
It helps us.
Good gracious. Just all you're doing, letting the park free.
But we're gonna have the ability for a park host at Buccaneer, Paul B. Johnson, what are our other parks there?
Yes, now, there are some parks that already have them. These are the 8 new ones that I was, doing research on.
Okay,
Yes.
does Buccaneer have one? Do you know?
I'll get back to you on that. I'll
And
ask
Paul
you.
B. Johnson, if you don't mind.
Okay,
And then I can't remember which other one. I'm not sure, is Percy Quinn part of my district, Macomb and the 5? I don't think it is.
I wouldn't think so. Definitely not.
And it's down. Here, just let me know,
yes,
the ones in my
yeah, I know that Paul B. Johnson.
Pike County probably is.
Yeah, Paul B. has one.
Pike County,
of Pike County.
it's probably gonna be, I know maybe know,
That'll be mine.
is it?
Old congressional district.
Yeah, Old Fourth, that's right.
Yeah, just let me know if you don't mind, here.
I sure will, yes, sir. The last thing, we're looking for a September, end of September opening. So just want to show y'all, this is a really cool splash pad at Buccaneer. And, hopefully September 30th is the date we're shooting for. We've had a lot of rain delays there, as y'all know, the rain this year. So, that has held us up on opening them. But that's our projected date, September 30th. That's an exceptional splash pad.
Does Buccaneer make the most money?
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah. Not-
Followed by
not
Percy
far.
Quinn and Paul B. Johnson neck and neck. And then Clark Road. Any questions on Park?
I think Clark over is my district.
That's equipment in it.
Uh-huh.
That's why we need to have a meeting. Clark, we haven't been over there. That's a good place, that East Mississippi.
You're gonna like it.
We've never been there. We need to have a commission meeting over there. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary.
Angel. The floor is above.
Good morning. Thank y'all for letting me give you a quick update this morning. So we have had a great first few months. So we have had, this week, we just surpassed 90,000 visitors since opening in December. Lots of happy faces. We've had a lot of great media. Most recently, we had WAPT come out and feature us for our shade structures. They compared our park with Winter Circle Park, and so based on our shade structures and surfacing, you can see the temperature difference. Ours was about 109 compared to Winter Circle, which was 152. So it was a really neat broadcast. If you didn't get to see it, I got a short clip here.
Exhaustion can set in quickly these days if not taking the right precautions. To reduce heat-related illness, more layouts and playgrounds have started adding shade structures. We went to Florblock Park where their wooden playground was recently upgraded to a state-of-the-art structure. Like other boys raised over 80,000 people have visited the playground since last September. Several of them are Madison. The reason? Well, it's fun. But it also provides more health benefits. Approximately 75% of our playground is covered in shade structures. It also protects us from heat and from the sun. We've got a lot of young children, we've got grandparents out here, we've got people of all ages really benefit from remaining cooler as they play and exercise. Emily Hawk and Angel Rocky are the masterminds behind this bill. The two moms started planning in 2020, taking into consideration several features that would keep their children as well as every visitor.
So just a short clip. So as you were mentioning earlier, that media coverage is just so important for the work that we're doing. So I just thought that was a great clip. We always love our media coverage. We're getting lots of great reviews online, lots of great feedback, super innovative, something for everyone. Second best playground I've been to in the USA. And I think the last one is just real important. Someone had mentioned how they used to come to the park and go to the wooden playground when they were a little girl, and it brought back memories of their childhood. I just think here they are bringing back their children, and who knows, this might be their first connection with the outdoors. It might be their first interaction with our agency. So lots of great feedback. One recommendation, the only really kind of down thing, everybody, can you stay open later? So we piloted that in June and July. We stayed open later till 7 p.m. And we had about an extra 705 visitors between 5 and 7. So we think that definitely was successful.
You work closed at 5 and then you
Yeah.
moved it to 7?
Yep. So we did that for the summer.
Angel, is any of that crime stuff that we read about in Jack and Caitlin rolled over to our park?
We've been very lucky at the park. We did have one incident early on. Somebody left their car unlocked and they broke in, but we've been very lucky. When we did stay until 7, we put an extra officer. We did get extra security. And we are getting some new cameras, the 360s like New Orleans has, but we're getting those installed over the next few months. Yep, definitely our number one priority.
And you still have the guardhouse, they still have to come past the guardhouse, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yep. So we also brought back to life the concession stand. This was way before my time. We used to have that concession stand open. So we opened it June 30th, just with prepackaged items. And over the next few months, we're going to do a full renovation on it. So you can see we just did chips and drinks and snacks. We're going to do that full renovation, be able to do things like hot dogs and slushies and nachos. And so, but we had a great first month. You can see our revenue. We made $3,000, about a profit of $1,200. So about 20% of our attendees actually bought something. And then we are starting to do this apparel for children. So Spotter, everybody's so excited about Spotters Adventure Trail. So we're starting to we'll do some t-shirts and hats for kids. So when we last met, this was the view that I had showed you where we were at. So we had just finished phase 1A, and then we moved on to phase 1B. And so you'll see there to the right of the screen, Eden, and then over to the golf course, Spotters Adventure Trail. So we've had a little bit of progress the last few months.
Golf.
So here's some just more up-close photos for you, so you can see the den, the outdoor amphitheater. So this week, they'll be waterproofing the sides, and then this weekend, the roof is gonna go on. And so we actually just secured a $5,000 grant from the Mississippi Arts Commission to hold a symphony there next April, so we're excited about that. I'm meeting with a group this afternoon who wants to host their annual egg hunt at LaFleur next year. So, I mean, they're already thinking for next April, so it's really great, lots of positive momentum. And then this is kind of just a closer up of the trail. And so you'll see the exhibit areas along the trail. You can see that it connects, so we'll have that safety crosswalk where they can walk directly across from the playground. And it's just a really great, like, especially coming from the Science Museum, you just walk through the trees, winding through the trees. It's gonna be really great for our school groups and families. So those exhibit components are being built. Here you can see this is gonna be our bear conservation area. This is a wall climber slide that's actually being built. And kids will just really love this. And then, of course, Spotter, the otter. He is 6 feet tall. They have carved him out of foam and fiberglass, and they're gonna have this epoxy. So kids will be able to take their picture with him. It'll be a great photo op. So he'll be centrally located right there in the center, so that people are walking from the Children's Museum or walking from our museum, he'll be right there in the center. So when you walk across from the playground, you're gonna see Spotter right there. So this is just a bird's eye view of yesterday. This is where we're at. We are hoping to have this complete by September 1st, have the work done, and then of course we gotta come back in. We're doing the irrigation, the seeding, the sodding. We're hoping to have that ribbon cutting for September 30th, so we hope that you will join us. This that you're seeing right now will complete that $3.8 million that we received from Blue Cross Blue Shield. That was the largest ask ever received, which is just such an impact, and it's so great for our community, and just something so proud. You know, our agency, it's been a lot of fun to do. So just save that date, September 30th. We'd love to have you there.
Angela, you showing Blue Cross and Blue Shield, which y'all are doing along the way in the
Oh,
process?
yeah, definitely.
I bet they're very
They've
pleased.
actually come back and said, do you need some more money? And
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, I bet they were very pleased with seeing all.
Yeah, they're really excited.
Do you have a fence around that? Is that fence
That's
completely enclosed?
It will be.
Okay.
We have, along the parking lot to the trail, we're gonna have a 4-foot fence, so you can still visually see, but it will be a safety fencing. Yep, that'll be coming. Right there was just a silt fence for construction. So this next week, we will open the bid process for phase 2. So moving on, we'll go ahead and connect that museum trail that runs from downtown. Right now, it currently runs in front of the park, and it will connect into LaFleur, and it'll go through the golf course and will connect to Lakeland Drive. And we'll also do in this next phase, the joint entrance. So for both of our museums, we'll have one joint entrance, and this is the conceptual for that. Fun and a grand entrance. At this time, we'll also do a more centrally located gatehouse. We'll do our bathroom renovations, our concession renovations. And then we'll have a new picnic area. We just got some funding this week, so we're excited to make all this happen. So we're looking at May of 2023 to have this phase 2 complete. And then phase 3, the Lakeland Bridge. Last time I met with you, we had secured the $1 million for the planning of the bridge. Most recently, we just worked with Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith to submit the application for the $12 million for the construction of the bridge. So we submitted that to DOT, so we're just waiting on that. So hopefully we'll be hearing something soon. So lots of great things happening, and I appreciate your continued support of the complex. Y'all have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Well, thank you, Adrian.
Yeah.
Good report.
Thank you.
Josh? Come on, bud.
Right. So a little different report from us this month. We wanted to run through kind of the full fiscal year, so do month to month, just to kind of put everything we've been doing on one page. So back in 2018, we implemented a digital marketing strategy. Kind of the first rendition here, and we do that in all of our marketing efforts. Try to fill 3 things. We try to either recruit
recruit new hunters, anglers, outdoor enthusiasts. We try to retain the ones we have. And then those that have, been customers or experienced, something in our great outdoors, we try to go back and get and bring them within the fold. So, we do that, through digital marketing, because we can better target that person. We've got, data on them. We know what they like to do, what they've done in the past. So we try to, reshare some of that stuff so that they, will come back to Mississippi or start going outdoors again. So since 2018, we've tracked, this is just like the data, $765,000 directly from some type of marketing campaign or email or social media posts that we put out there. So that's not to count, if you saw the ad and went to your local bait and tackle shop and bought a license, we're not counting those people. These are people who received an advertisement from us or a message from us and clicked the button to buy a license and went straight on to buy it. So from then, and then in last fiscal year, we saw $262,000 in trackable revenue compared to the $198,000. So those are some examples there. I'm sure y'all get the monthly newsletter, seasonal updates, all the social media ads. Some things we do, you might ask, I'm not seeing a lot of ads. If you're a license holder and our digital targeting is working, you won't see as many ads as those who have lapsed or don't have a valid hunting license. We're targeting, we're spending more money targeting those people coming back in. We're assuming that if you've got a license that you're already participating. So you'll see that in a few different ways. We manage 6 separate social media accounts, and I'm from this Mississippi Delta where the catfishing is king, and our social media accounts have experienced some king numbers from catfish over the past few months. So here's the people reach. So these are individual people that have been reached by some type of social media post that we post throughout the weeks and months. So as you can see, up until March, we hovered right around the 350,000 average per month people reach. And then we had a 131-pound catfish that threw us up into a whole new category. And then I just got the numbers from the 104-pound catfish that we posted on Tuesday. We're 720,000 people reached this week through just those 2 catfish posts. So we've averaged about 1.1 million people we reach on social media over the past fiscal year, and then FY21, and this past fiscal year, 63.7 million. So we're excited about doing what we're doing on the social media front. I think we told you back in July, we added to the team, and we really kind of audited what we were doing in the social media world and wanted to reduce the quantity of posts we posted and increase the quality. And I think it's really showing good results in that way.
Josh,
Yes,
are we doing all this in-house, or do we have an outside marketing company?
Everything we do is in-house production. So we will contract out the ad buys.
But all the posts and all that, it's all in-house?
Yes, sir. So our team handles all of that in-house. So here's some of the top posts over the past fiscal year. Of course, that huge catfish, the big crappie bust in North Mississippi. And then, like Kerry said, Tinter, when we launched that in Mississippi, we had the best engagement they've ever seen in partnering with the state. And we continue to promote that because it's just one extra opportunity. They handle every aspect of it. So we don't do any of the booking, any of the maintenance, any of the cleaning. Tinker does all of that for us. They help promote it through their social channels. And it's on places that either were underutilized or not even an option to reserve. So really good opportunity to get a different category of outdoor enthusiasts into the park system. So we're excited about that. Mississippi Outdoors Magazine, we're right over 43,500 subscribers, and that includes our print and digital. I don't know if y'all are aware that we do have a digital magazine option now, and starting, I believe, with the next issue, we're having a different vendor that
we'll continue to adapt that, content. You'll have the standard digital flip book that you can pull up on your desktop and engage with the magazine digitally. And then we're going to a better mobile responsive, so it'll be much more appealing, to view on your phone. So we're excited about where that's going. Everything we do, in the magazine reflects something that anybody in the agency is working on, and then we also try to promote people to get outside. So what's next? Typically, in the past, we've done a campaign of McIver's opening. We need to tell people about McIver. Henry's getting a new sporting credit training. We need that. We're taking a step back and looking at a little bit more of a multi-year campaign, and focusing our efforts on what can we do to get more people engaged with MDWFP, the park, with the museum. So our team's meeting with every bureau, getting a 3-month plan to go ahead and cover the things that we do seasonally, but also look forward to what we can do different to get more people. Of course, we have Mississippi Outdoors TV, and that airs on MTV. We also put it on YouTube. We're taking our YouTube channel and trying to grow it just like we did on Facebook and Instagram page. So adapting the TV show's content to be more consumable to today's young hunter, and then also being available for people to go back and watch the shows they missed is what we're kind of our goal there. And then more separating, like we're working on a museum separate YouTube channel, so that we can connect people to education and other events and stuff in Jackson. So we're also doing probably the same thing for parks, just as we go forward, just to broaden our net a little bit more in the digital world, and still doing all the print and other media that we did seasonally. And then thirdly, we're going to work with industry leaders. So currently we're in conversations with Onyx Hunts and Academy Sports to do a kind of partnership promotions with us, promoting hunting, fishing licenses. Onyx has mentioned a variety of different programs that we might be able to opt in to help further the benefit of being a hunter from Mississippi or hunting in Mississippi. So we're excited about all that, and look forward to what this fiscal year and the next has coming. If I have any questions for me?
Good job, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Kincaid here, legislatures, anything you do to keep the legislature informed, any way to let them know about our social media or?
Yeah, so we
posts or
definitely try to tag anybody that we know that's directly involved with the agency in any of our social media campaigns, and then if we've got their list, and we try to update that on a regular basis on our newsletter. Of course, they can opt out if they want to, but they'll receive the monthly newsletter about what's going on within the agency. And then also we help with annual report, things like that, that's sent over for them to view.
Chairman Kincaid, anything that they could be doing better, you think?
I think it's a much improved messaging from where we were. I think everything we're doing is improving the profile of the agency. I mean, it's just,
Good help, because some of the legislators, they don't know what all goes on here. It's good education, but want to see those things.
they need to be targeted.
We put them on our list.
You can send it on to them, and then opt out.
There you go. Anything else?
Had a good feel first.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Josh. Colonel? You got a lot going on there.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, morning. Law enforcement would like to make their report for the June and July. Each year, we're talking about license and compliance checks. For the month of June and July, there were a total of 1,168 citations issued. Top 5 being no license for 239, trespassing at 79, no boat registration at 126, PFD violations at 124, and no WMA permits at 45. On our next page,
I'm not real good at math.
yes, sir.
I'm assuming all the violations are not listed on there.
No, so these are just the top 5.
Okay.
Yes, sir. On our next page is the nationwide campaign, it's called Operation Dry Water, that is held in the month of July 2nd through the 4th. And Mississippi, of course, it was a part of that event as always. And this is our total for the year under the Operation Dry Water. I also wrote a total of 399 citations, and the numbers also states what we wrote and voted that we encountered during that time during Operation Dry Water. I'd like to say a good job by our officers and what they did in voting enforcement.
I can't imagine somebody getting out on the water in their boat and it not being rescued. I mean, that's would be the easiest part.
Too easy.
Put the numbers on it.
Too easy. Yes, sir.
You know you're gonna get caught.
Yes, sir. On our next page, this kind of validate the numbers on our BUI. These are one of our voter coordinators there in Central, Sergeant Major Marshall McGraw. He conducted a BUI training refresher course to our officers, and like to say with the training that they've done, all the coordinators throughout the state, our BUI numbers definitely have increased. Right now for the state overall, for our voting season, we wrote a total of approximately 58 BUI citations in our state. So that's pretty good with the training that all officers have received. So hats off to our coordinators and to Major Megan Frederick for job well done in our officers corporation on those BUIs. So on our next page is North Region officers assisted in Corinth High School Career Camp. There is Officer Ralph, Lieutenant Ricky Berry, and Lieutenant Officer Houston there at Alcorn County. They were invited by the high school to come and conduct a career fair. So look like we're looking at hopefully some of our future employees with Department of Wildlife Business and Parks, 7th and 8th grade class. And I actually was invited to be a part of that career fair. Job well done.
Now, where is this vessel located? On Pickwick?
That's correct, sir. Yes, sir.
We got one here and one in Vicksburg. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, sir. On our next page is the McHenry Sporting Clay Trail. This is kind of pictures of where we're at, and officially they're scheduled to open August the 19th.
Next week?
Next week, sir. Shooting range customer counts for June 13th through July 7/31. In MacGyver, we had 711 customers. Turcotte, we had 913, and at McHenry, we had a total of 695 customers.
What's this cost?
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'd like to change a little bit on my agenda with law enforcement. Save the best for land.
Okay.
We wanted to recognize law license reinstatement. Have two gentlemen here. It's Mr. Brandon Poole. Brandon was charged in date of violation that happened July 17th, 2021. He was convicted by the courts on 6/22 of 21 there in South Mississippi by our officers. And at this time, I'll yield the floor to Mr. Holt to let him tell you all the incident that happened.
All right, Brandon, tell us what happened.
Well, I was going eastbound to Colder Road, had my little brother in the truck. Bad idea. But deer walked out, shining a light on the deer. Deer went back in the woods, kept going down the road, and blue lights were behind me. We were looking for dogs. I know that's probably every single person's excuse. I mean, I'm sure y'all would say that. But I had two deer in ice chest in the back of my truck. And I'm not going to look for any more deer down the fencing, but I genuinely was looking for pigs. Knowing that you can hunt them at night, but not with a flashlight. you can hunt them in the woods, but with the stationary light in the woods, I was educated on that. So sincerely stated, never happen again.
Y'all were in the Crump property, Nicola Road?
This man already moved. Yes, sir. I wasn't on the property, I was on the road.
Would you have shot a deer if you saw it, if that deer would have
I had
stood
the
there?
opportunity to shoot that deer and I did not.
What county is it?
And,
But you can understand what the,
oh, 100%.
what the problem is.
After I read the law, the way the law is written. Yeah,
What did it cost you?
$2,000. I didn't even fire a shot. 500 a day, if y'all say yes.
What about the colonel? Did he, did,
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, he has met all the requirements, so we, will go ahead on and approve him if it's all right.
what is your recommendation?
To reinstate.
Anybody else got any questions? Mr. Holt? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Make a motion. The motion's been made to reinstate his license. Is there a second?
I make a second.
A second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
No.
That one, no. That's okay. You had enough. 3 and 1. I'll vote aye.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being honest.
Yes, sir.
And hey, we don't want to see you again. Not in this, not down here.
Next, we have Mr. James Wynn. This incident happened in Panola County. Violation was December the 4th, 2020. Date of his conviction was 6/23 of 21. Yield for Mr. Wynn to let him give his encounter of this incident.
Morning. And he can have to, still morning.
Well, yeah, I had just gotten off work, I was leaving my driveway, where I live on John Branch Road, I was going across the road to my in-law's house. And leaving my driveway, my headlights shining across the field, across from our house, and I was an idiot. I shot a deer, and wouldn't get a call, here I stand.
Is that Lafayette County?
No, sir, it was in Panola County, I live in Batesville. Yes, sir.
Would you kill the deer?
Yes, sir, I did kill the deer.
So, and I reckon a neighbor called and said, hey, somebody just shot over here.
Yes.
And then law enforcement showed up and.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but, I mean, it was cut and dry, but you were guilty of
Oh,
killing.
yes, sir, I was guilty, yes, sir, yes, sir. I never denied anything. It wasn't even me lying, I was already called, so, you know.
When the officer showed up, had you not gotten rid of the deer?
I had taken it down the road and hung it in a tree, yes.
Yeah, so he asked you, what'd you tell him?
I told him where the deer was and I rode down in his truck with him to retrieve the deer, yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to reinstate it.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made, reinstate, and second. Any more questions? All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. We don't want to see you again either, Frank.
I don't see y'all.
I'll see you in Oxford or Batesville or wherever, but not here.
That's totally fine with me, yes, sir.
All right, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'd like to also give you all an update on our cadet class. At this time, of course, we have 9 cadets. 6 of them are currently at Melota for their 10 weeks of training. The other 3 sworn, they're already out in their FTO program in the field with the officers as we speak. Graduation date at Melota, their Pearl is set for August 25th. Self and others will be attending that graduation. Then they will return to Lakota September the 6th to complete the rest of their 7 weeks training. And tentatively, our graduation date for our cadets is set for October the 20th.
And how many of them we got now?
We've got 9.
9?
9, yes, sir. And 6 of them are at Melota right now. Yes, sir. They're doing good. Went by and visited them last week. They're very happy to see us, and they're doing good in the training. We're getting a lot of compliments from the staff there saying that we're sending some good officers, cadets there, training, wise, they're top notch, they're squared away. Some of them are platoon leaders, squad leaders there at Malota, so they're doing an outstanding job. We're proud of them.
That's good.
Hey, Colonel, I got a question. Those officers that are actually OJT-ing right now, or, FTO-ing right now,
That is correct, sir.
is that gonna go towards their FTO time? Or are they gonna have to start the whole FTO process again? Because I know we're short, like in Hancock County, and not so much Harrison County, but I didn't know, how's that gonna work?
No, sir, they will not have to start over there. Where they're at now, basically, it's gonna add to that FTO training where
Yeah.
they're at now. Yes, sir.
So if they get 3 weeks of, or 3 months of FTO while the other group's in the,
Correct. 'Cause
in
they're
the thing,
required
that's
to
gonna
do
apply towards their FTO training.
Yes,
Good.
sir. This last month, July 16th, July 14th, July 14th, July 14th, to July 16th, they hosted the 2022 Law Fit there in DeSoto County. And I'd like to recognize our officers that attended, our Law Fit team here with the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, on the job well done and what they did. And I would like to recognize those officers at this time. Lieutenant Marcus Christian, if you stand. Lieutenant Justin Gates. Sergeant Major Derek Scott. Private Beverly Marcellus. Private Braden Reynolds. Private Bradley Starling. And Private Kenneth Evans. These officers, along with other agencies from different parts of throughout the nation, from New Jersey, Texas, Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Alabama, and other states, had competition there. And it was a very, very good event. Our officers worked and trained real hard through the process, preparing for it. We didn't win a lot of trophies per se, but they assured me that they're going to bring home more than what you see here come next year. So we're very proud of them, and if you will, like the audience, if y'all just give them a round of applause. And I'm going to ask Lieutenant Christian, if he will, come up and just state the trophies here and the medals on what category each individual won.
How y'all doing?
Thanks, Marcus.
First, I want to thank the director and the commissioner, thank y'all for y'all support, and, we hope y'all give us that same support next year, and we're really gonna go and win everything next time. I'll tell you what we won, starting with the overall individual winner. Derek Scott, you're saying Derek has won this overall individual last 4 competitions that he has competed in. I think that's outstanding. Third place was Marcus Christian. I won 3rd place overall. Justin Gates, he won 4th place overall. Our 2-man team was 1st place, Marcus, which was me, and Derek Scott. 4th place, 2-man team was Justin Gates and Bradley Starr. Mixed pair, 2nd place was Derek Scott and Beverly Marcellus. The 4-man team, which will be myself, Justin Gates, Derek, and Bradley, 2nd place. And now I'm gonna give you a rundown on the 6 events that we always go through. You got bench, pull-ups, the obstacle course, sit-ups, mile-and-a-half run, and the sit and reach. We had a team member that placed in every event in the top 5. Bench press, Justin Gates, 1st place. Derek Scott, 2nd place. 3rd place. Pull-ups, we had Derek Scott, 1st place. Justin Gates, 5th place. Obstacle course, Derek Scott, 1st place. Myself, 2nd place.
Sit-ups, Derek Scott, second place, myself, fourth place. Mile and a half run, Derek Scott, second place. And sit and reach, Beverly Marcellus, fifth place. I think they done a great job. They trained hard and, we'll continue to do so. Thank you for this.
I failed to hear Scotty and Calvin's name. Did I miss it?
Well,
Back to the day.
Oh, back to that, huh?
if they come aboard, I can promise you that that second place and that fifth place overall, they will fill those two spots, so it'll be Mississippi Department of Wildlife Fish and Parks in the top 5 for me.
Proud of you, Marcus.
Also, we'd like to thank the Wildlife Foundation as well, if I'm correct, for their contribution, what they did in helping our officers as well prepare for the event so they could look good and have the equipment they needed to get, win what you see here before you. And as we said, next year, we're gonna win at 100%, right, guys and ladies? All righty, okay. That's it for me, for law enforcement, unless y'all have any questions.
All right, thank you. Judge.
Thank you.
Reinstated. What about other business, Mr. Posey?
Daphne?
Commissioners, this resolution that is in section 10 is to transfer funds that'll program income for the Natural Heritage Database Program of the Natural Science Museum out of the Wildlife Heritage Fund. These funds should be used in the museum's budget to fund the program and not need commission approval for the expenditure of funds. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
This is just transferring some money out of one fund into another.
Yes,
Briefly, DFA combined these two funds, they should have, and we're separating them back out.
Now, do I need to sign this one, or you got a official one? You got an official one?
Motion.
So we need a motion?
I need a motion.
So moved.
A motion is a second.
Second.
A motion has been made and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Gotcha. Any other business, Mr.?
We just need to talk about the next commission meeting, if you want to discuss it briefly. I think I've visited with each of you a little bit, but the next commission meeting will be in Oxford on the 12th and 13th. And, the commission meeting will be on the morning of the 13th, and we'll have a tour of the Winchester plant, on the afternoon of the 12th. And I'll get y'all some details on all that as we get closer to it.
So we're going to Winchester, spend the night in Oxford, go to the commission meeting, will be at McIver.
Come back to McIver, have an early commission meeting, and then let anyone shoot the course if they'd like to.
Commission meeting will be
12th and 13th.
What was?
12th and 13th.
12th.
Afternoon of the 12th, morning of the 13th.
Mr. Sharon, you can send that out.
And commission is gonna be on the commission actual meeting will be probably 8:30, 9 o'clock on the 13th.
Probably 9 o'clock. It's gonna take it'll take an hour to drive from Oxford over to McIver.
We'll say
Maybe
9
not, but 45 minutes.
o'clock on the 13th then.
Yeah. All right, is there a reason to go in executive
No,
session?
sir, we don't have a reason to go in
We have no
executive
reason to
session
go in
today.
executive session. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is always in order. We stand adjourned.